it will affect the organization using a HoloLens?
Yeah, not so much.
Okay, but also HoloLens.
So, you prefer English or Danish?
English.
Some English, please. No problem. Not at all. Okay, so yes, as mentioned, my name is Aaren Ekelund and I come from Microsoft, where I sit as the business group lead for our Office division. And I've been working for Microsoft for about 12 years and been on this digital transformation that we have been on. So moving from being a software company to being a company selling services in the cloud, because that's where basically everything is today. It's in the cloud. I'm not going to talk so much about that. I was asked to come and talk a little bit about digital transformation and how we look at that. And I'm sure you have heard numerous of presentations around that subject, digital transformation or the fourth industrial revolution or disruption. Maybe you've heard that term. So hopefully I'm not going to bore you that much with repeating slides around Uber and all that stuff, but more on our perspective on what's going to happen within the nearest time frame and how we actually try to think that into the way we build our products, which of course affects the way that we are going to work in the future. And maybe technology can support some of that. So that was the idea. And one can ask why is this so big? Why is this a revolution? And it kind of has this self-reinforcing effect, the cloud, because that's basically the reason. Right? The more services we put to the cloud, the more devices we connect to the cloud, the more products we can develop, the more we can redefine value chains, and then that reinforces itself. So that is why we haven't even seen the beginning of what's going to come of possible things. And I don't know if you're aware, but we actually have a big research department in Redmond outside of Seattle, and we actually have a number of PhD professors sitting there, and their job is basically to look into the future of work, the future of computing. So what does a computer look like in maybe 10, 20 years? And some of that is built into our products today, and that is some of the things that I'm going to touch upon. So I try to kind of summarize some of the more short-term mega trends into 4 aspects that I'm going to talk a little bit about. One of them being liquid workforce. There's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence, and you can say it's not artificial, and it's basically not intelligence. So it's more what I call intelligent automation, because it's about learning a machine something based on a lot of data, and then it gets wiser and wiser, and then it can automate stuff. So I'm going to get back to that. And then mixed reality, and that's where this device, of course, comes in. It's more kind of a gimmick thing. I'm not going to talk that much about it, but you're welcome to try it out afterwards. But that has an effect on how we work and what our products would look like and so forth in the future as well. And then of course this security layer, because the more stuff we put up into the cloud, basically all of our lives and our devices, the more it becomes the new crime scene, right? The new battlefield where we need to fight security and compliance. And we as an industry need to invest heavily in that, but we also, everybody needs to react in a different way. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. First one being liquid workforce. So I don't know if you're aware, but we have kind of this global mega trend where we have more and more freelancers. So in the US, they predict that 43% in 2020 will be freelancers. And you can see some of the numbers here in Europe, huge growth. So why is that? That makes perfect sense. If we are to be more agile, more innovative, create innovation islands within the companies, we need to hire in competencies and then throw them out again once we're done with our projects. So that mega trend is happening, and it's going to be happening even more. And we need to figure out how can we then collaborate in a smart, secure, efficient way in that world. That will be very, very crucial in the future for companies that survive. Another aspect is this millennial talk thing, right? So, you know, old geezer like me is becoming old in the marketplace of the workforce. So, as it says here, in 2025, there's only going to be 25% less in the workforce of old guys like me. So, and millennials, and some of you are here, think in a different way, prioritize differently, have purpose more than necessarily salary. And we need to figure out, instead of bending you into the workplace as we define, what can we learn of the way you think, and how can we work more efficiently in that. So, and we build some of that stuff into our products, and I get back to it. Next thing was this intelligent automation, as I call it. Basically, what's possible today with technology is some of the stuff you see up here. Right, so you can have cameras feeding video feeds where we can actually interpret what's going on those video feeds. So for example, there's something happening, an incident, and that can initiate a flow, which will start something within the workplace to ensure that nothing dangerous is happening on that workplace. This technology is possible today. At the same time, I don't know how many of you knows and uses IFTTT? No. Zambia? No. So basically what that is automation of our private lives. And that is going to be very big, very soon. So I can control my car, so I actually don't need to control it because whenever I park, it sends me an email of where I parked. So I never need to figure out where I parked again. That was sometimes a problem for me before. I can connect to my sound system at home, my lights, my garage. So my phone knows when I'm approaching the garage because of the GPS, and then it can open the garage. So all this is happening in my private life, and we get used to that. It's going to happen very soon for most of you. And then when we meet at work, we're going to expect the same thing. Why can't we automate stuff? Connect all of our services and all the things that we do in the cloud. And we have a product called Microsoft Flow. There's a lot of other competitive products out there that does the same. Basically just connects our services and our devices or whatever into our work processes. So the example here is that we use user voice. So if some of you have a good suggestion or are very tired of a feature in Excel, you can use user voice, and that then feeds into our developers in Britain. But there's a lot of mails coming. And instead of having people sitting and look at that, we can have user voice feed that into a flow. So what's happening here is that it calls a service which is free and available, which can actually detect the intent in the user voice. So is it a complaint? Is it a suggestion to a feature? Is it whatever it is in the mail? And then they can direct that right to the right team and then put a note on what it is, and then people can react on that. You can set that up in 2 minutes.
You mean like we can set it up in 2 minutes?
Yes, seriously. And the same thing with this thing. It's easy. Click and choose and drag and drop, and it's all there. So, another thing that's going to happen is that we will use interfaces like bots and what we call conversation as a platform, so personal assistants. So why should I go to 5 different sites to figure out how I get to New York and which hotel to stay in, when I can ask a bot, and the bot will work for me. That's going to happen, or it's already happening today. And then we have this guy. I don't know why he's that blue in his face, but basically what we can do today as well is detect a lot of stuff in the facial features. So we can see how angry he is and the part of disgust he has in his expressions and so forth. And that you can use that for all kinds of things. When you walk into a store, you can detect something, for example. And then I put this one, the muffin dog thing, right? So even though we can automate a lot of stuff and the machine can learn a lot of things, sometimes it will be hard still, right? So we still need humans, hopefully. Then there's this mixed reality trend. So, and it's very hard to understand. You saw some of it. It's very hard to understand unless you have actually the glasses on, because it actually put stuff into the real world. And that's going to change a lot of things. Like, for example, Volvo here, when they produce a car, or when you present products. So why should I have products or car sales anymore, when I can actually walk in and I can sit in the car and I can choose the features, and maybe in the future I don't even have to drive the car. So that's the future. So mixed reality is all about the things that we invest heavily in is the ways that we interact with the computers and the output the computers gives, which can be holograms or whatever. And then security. Not going to talk that much about that. We talk about it as the intelligent security graph, so we need to help each other. It's kind of a neighbor help thing, where we need to, if we are to live in this new world, we need to do something about it. So you know these guys maybe, Fallout and Bill Gates. They had a mission in 1975, putting a computer on every desk. Now it's actually, I don't know how it is at your home, it's hard to find a desk for all the devices that we have. It's going to be the other way around. So the way we look at digital transformation in Microsoft and where we invest in the future is in these three areas. So first of all, building the intelligent cloud platform. So that is all the services I showed before, like cognitive services. I can interact with stuff. I can send an email and the sentiment in that email can be detected and all that. I use my voice to communicate with the computer and the services. That's in that. The way we present stuff, the way we log into our PCs and so forth, that is the personal computing. And then where I sit is reinventing business productivity and processes, is what we call that part. And that is about new collaborative solutions and how we work and communicate together in the future. And our customers often ask us, so you must help us digitally transform. How can you help us? And we talk about that in redefining different areas in the value chain of a customer. So new ways of engaging with your customers, new ways of empowering employees, which is again the business productivity thing, new ways of optimizing operations, and transforming products. And we actually did a survey with some of the larger Danish customers last year, where we asked them, so how do you feel, where are you in this digital transformation journey on those 4 parameters? And not surprisingly, they said, what's most important is engaging with customers and transforming our products. So it's very much top-line kind of thing, right? I need to think new products and I need to reinvent the way I communicate digitally with my customers. But when you ask them on how are you going to do that? It's actually more related to some of the work stuff, the empower your employee stuff, right? So future way of working, open collaboration, new competencies, and these areas. So like this guy says, it's not necessarily the clients that come first, it's the employees. If you don't transform the employees, and if you don't get them to think differently, you will never get your products defined in a new way, and you will never get the services to be redefined. And it relates to the way we work today. So these are US numbers, but you can probably recognize some of it, hopefully not that one. So that is quite surprising. Only 13% of us meet at work and are engaged. Maybe that's because we have old IT systems or hard processes or whatever, I don't know. Unproductive meetings, I guess you can recognize that. We spend a lot of time on our emails. We disturb ourselves a lot of times checking our inbox, which is not that productive. And we get tons of emails. In Microsoft, that number is actually 150. So on average, we get 150 emails per employee per day. So if you spend, and we know you spend in average, because we can see that, 2 minutes on an email in average. So some of it you read and you act on, some of it you just trash, but it still takes time to trash it. So that's almost your workday gone just on email. Not productive. And there's these guys, the new millennials and the new workforce, and they completely checked out of email, right? So that is why we introduced Teams recently. Did anybody know Teams? Hey.
Is it kind of like Slack?
It's kind of like Slack, just yes, it's kind of like Slack. But the whole idea of Teams is, back to your point, I think, if I understood it correctly, is wrapping in something that can make it easy to work for us with the intent that we have, and not necessarily put all people down in the same kind of understanding and use of technology. If you look at the 4 generations that are in the workplace today, we have the baby boomers and the Generation Z. And if you look at email, right? So these guys, they just love email. It's just the best. And so do I, with Generation X. But these ones, they have no clue. They don't understand it. They don't know what it is. And then you have something called persistent chat. These guys, they don't get it at all, right? I get it a little bit. Millennials, yes, they get it. These guys, that is the way they work, or live, or communicate. Because they are used to Snapchat and Facebook and stuff like that. A persistent chat is, if we have a chat, it's a chat, and we close it, it's gone. Persistent chat is where we have a project, and there's some discussions going on, and if somebody comes into that project, we can read what was going on, it's persistent. So that's persistent chat. Team workspaces, we all get, right? We understand that. It's a good idea to have email communication on a project or in a team and not in everybody's inbox, and the files and the plates and the notes and so forth. So that is the whole idea of Teams, is to try not to get everybody to use the same stuff in the way that we determine it, but actually to accommodate the different needs that people have on the ways they communicate and collaborate. So we can laugh at that picture, right? So it doesn't look like that today, right? This guy has a brilliant idea, and there's another guy sitting up there, and he has no clue what's going on down there, even though he could use that information. So we can laugh at that. We have open offices and open workspaces, and we can see what's going on down there in the other team and stuff like that, physically. But digitally, is it still like that? Are we still putting our stuff up in the cloud where everybody can find it? Are we using technology that can, with machine learning, determine what is of interest of me? Because I work in this stuff, and that guy over there, he works on that stuff too. We can do that. But most of us don't. And this guy is the most wise guy of them all. He left the building. So that's Teams, an example of how we try to put those things into a product. And basically, it's a wrap of all the technologies that we have in something that is a bit different than what it used to be. I'm okay with time?
2 minutes?
2? Oh my God. Okay. That's going to be hard. Another thing is just the way that we work. So when we work with this technology and we work in the cloud, we leave behind a number of different digital footprints. And we can use that for a purpose internally. So we have a lot of different footsteps that we can look into and be wise and create stuff for you without like looking into what you do specifically, but kind of seeing megatrends on that. And we do that, so we launched something called My Analytics. I don't know if you know what that product, but basically it's like the Fitbit you have when you go out running and you want to run faster next time and you can detect your pulse and everything. It's the same thing for your work week. Right? So I can see my work week, I have this amount of meetings, this amount of email times, this amount of focus hours. I can see who I communicate most with, who did I communicate with more that I'm losing traction to. When I send an email to a person or group, is it being read? That's kind of interesting. It's a waste of time if I write emails and they're never read. And the same thing the other way around. When I receive an email, I can look at my meetings. So when I go to a meeting, this is really bad, right? So I had 22 hours of meetings, and 18 of those I was multitasking. So I was sitting doing email stuff. Good. I might as well not be there. It's not productive. I can look at a certain person and see did he read my emails, how fast he at reading my emails, and the other way around. And I can actually see when is the best time to send an email to Nils. So this is all there, using the technology. The last bit was about intelligence that we built into Office. I'm going to do that very quickly. So first of all, I always wished I had a PA, personal assistant, but I don't. But now I have one. She's digital. She's called Cortana. I can put her CC on my mails. And if I have a mail correspondence with someone and I want to meet next week, I can just say blah blah blah, should we meet 1 hour next week, blah blah blah. She will handle the rest of it. Figure out the calendars between us, look at my calendar, and then set up the meeting. It's there, you can just use it. This thing about cognitive services, so speech to text and text translation, I can now, and you can again get that in Outlook, I can dictate something in French or in English, and it will translate it into French. I don't speak French, but now I can write it in French either. I don't know if you know Quick Starter. If you do a PowerPoint presentation, why start from scratch? If I want to do something about New York, I can write New York, and it will look up what's being discussed out in the big internet about that subject, and it will make the presentation for me. So I have a starting point, I can start from that. Pictures, videos, and whatever. Clutter, how many use Clutter in Outlook? No one? So Clutter is the most brilliant of all of these. Clutter does is it looks at my behavior, and based on that, it kind of does stuff with the emails that comes to me. So if I get an email from a group or a person that I never read, next time I get it, I'm probably not going to read it again. So it puts it down in Clutter. And once I read, I get kind of a digest of what's being put in Clutter. And then I can say, no, I want to read it, and then the machine learns from that. Or it can just put it down in Clutter. And I have about 6,000 unread mails in Clutter. And when I go down there, I would have never read those mails anyway, so I save a lot of time. It's there, you just plug it in. That I got it. The last one is Emma. Anybody knows Emma? No? So Emma can look at the sentiment in an email, and then she can say if it's good or bad. And that's sometimes I was going to...
Yeah.
Yeah? So maybe, hopefully it works. If not, you can come up here and you can try it out, because that's how it works best. Let's see if it works. Can you see us? I can see you. You can't see me. Let's see. So basically, this is a computer that I'm wearing. And that computer, you can't see anything. Just give that a second.
It says no source found.
I don't know. Hang on. Just a second. You still don't see anything. That's interesting. Give me just a second.
That's called the demo table.
Yes, exactly. So I can't make it work. So what I suggest is that if you're interested, you can come up here and you can try it out. It's much better when you have it on your face. But if you had it on your face, you could see a spaceship right here. And you can see a ballerina, you saw it. A ballerina dancing here. There's an engine running here. And it's quite amazing.
Where do you see this text? Where do you see it? What is the use for it in the next code?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different scenarios. So for example, Grundfos, they have pumps. And when they educate new people on their pumps, they can actually have a 3D model. They can walk around and see the different aspects of the pump. In medical, that is quite a touching story, so sometimes I get kind of emotional when I tell it. We have seen people do brain surgery with these on. So actually working on the brain, but getting a lot of information on where and what goes on, where you should cut and where you should not, through the lens, which is quite amazing. And so the whole educational thing around the human body and stuff, a lot of scenarios there. And then you have something like Tivoli, which is there somewhere. You point that direction.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's already over. So they have some technicians on some of the old rides, and there are not that many of them, but they're very important, right? But they can't be on shift 24 hours a day. So if someone else can put glasses on and they can look at the different parts, then they can sit at home and then kind of talk to them and draw and stuff like that. So another scenario, this is a computer you're wearing, so you don't have any cords or anything, so you can connect that. Sorry, it doesn't work. You can come up here and check it.
So, Aaren, I just want to say thank you. Also very inspiring. And I think that people can try it on for the next 15 minutes in the break. And I just want to say proper thank you for coming and inspiring us, both of you. So here's a little thing. You can get inspired. So there's a 15 minutes break, and then we'll take the wrap up with all of your interesting questions afterwards. Kun 10 liter, tror jeg.
Yeah, face to face.
Så vi gerne spørge mere. Det kunne også sagtens være så til der er jo ikke sådan lidt fra forsker i.
Ja, man køber sådan en ekstra antal licenser, og så split price. Lige nu kører vi gratis.